somewhere else, but this is where we found ourselves. Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
Welcome to the season premiere of the local show here on GrassRoots Community Network. I'm Erik Skarvan, your host. Thanks for joining us, guys, where each week we feature inspirational locals live here from Aspen, Colorado every Tuesday at 3:30. Thanks for tuning in, especially to our live audience. So excited and so honored to have a first-time guest. Seen this guy up in the Highland Bowl many times. He's inspired me for several years now, at least. It's Nick Kuhn. Welcome to the show, Nick.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for being here today.
For having me.
And we've got my dog Sammy on the set, and hopefully she's going to behave herself, Nick. So you've been fairly warned that she may be jumping up and giving you excessive kisses throughout the show. So thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So I want to talk about your background, growing up in Switzerland, and there's so many things we want to talk about. You had a great article about you last year in the Aspen Times, hiking 86 bowl laps last year as you were turning 81 years young, I like to say. But I wanted to just get your thoughts on this time of the year, and what are you feeling as we go into another ski season? Do you still get as excited as you did, when you were younger?
I get excited, I think the secret is you have to stay in shape. So don't let it get away from you,
Right.
So it's really cross training, You have to do different things, It's you cannot just say, okay, I'm going to hike the bowl.
Right.
Well, you better be ready before you hike the bowl the first time.
Right.
By sight,
right.
The age is against you.
So that preparation part is really important for you. Like
Yeah.
you're mentally always ready, right? You're excited, but
but
physically you want to make sure
But then
you're
when you
prepared.
start, then you say, God, it's not that easy.
Right.
It's not going to get any easier,
Especially as you're pushing up towards 12,000 feet, the
Well,
air's
it's
thinner and you need a little more
It's
training.
the same amount of steps,
Right.
Maybe a few more, the older you get, Your steps getting maybe shorter, but...
So I mentioned in the article, one of the ways you prepare or like to train outside of winter is rollerblading. Can you tell us a little bit about your love for the sport of rollerblading?
Well, I always played hockey.
Okay.
So rollerblading is natural for me. On top of it, both my sons were on the Nordic team.
Okay.
So they used to roller ski.
Right.
And I would rollerblade. Actually, my son Roger, he also roller skated, and Andre too, both of them,
Okay.
So
you're out with your sons doing it.
I love to rollerblade. The reason is it's not only a lower body workout, It's really an upper body workout.
Because you use poles, too.
Yeah, I use poles,
Okay.
So it's balance, it's upper body, it's lower body.
Right. And when you come down, like you like to go up Maroon Creek Road, right?
Yes.
Towards the Bells.
Yes.
Do you ever do the downhill part where you can actually angle and practice some turns too?
People always ask me, they say, you going downhill? And I explain them, well, we used to have 3 cattle guards in the old days.
Yes.
And, in the younger days, you can jump them. But when you get older, maybe you should get a little smarter, or maybe take the bus down because you have a bus.
Right.
So we have all really nice bus drivers, they all know me,
Right.
And I take care of them financially, and they welcome me.
Do you know Terry at all?
Oh, yeah,
the driver?
of course.
Yeah. He used to be our postman downtown for so many
that's
years.
right,
He's one of my favorite drivers.
I think he kind of really gives a lot of bus driver a little education,
Right, right.
When they come to Aspen, they think they know everything, And Terry is that nice bus driver who kind of tell them, okay.
Kind of mentor.
How it is, kind of mentor,
I like that.
That's great,
All right. Well, Nick, we're going to take a quick break and hydrate. We got to start talking about your background growing up in Switzerland.
Okay.
But we're going to take a quick break. Again, we're going to hydrate. You're welcome to a beer down there in the mystery cooler. We brought in the mystery cooler this year, guys. Something new. And actually, Bingo, the longtime dog on Aspen Mountain, is a new addition. And my buddy the Gnome, only the Gnome knows, from my friends at Travelocity. They are not a sponsor of the show, but we do want to thank our winter sponsors that make the series happen. We've got Haiti Children, Highlands Ale House, Klug Properties, Paradise Bakery, Red Brick Center for the Arts, Picken County Solid Waste Center, I still got to check my notes, Susie's Consignment Aspen, Sundog Athletics, the Wheeler Opera House, and White River Overland. We're going to go to our only break of the show, guys. We'll be back in 2 minutes with Nick Kuhn. We're going to see what he's up to this year as he pushes towards his 82nd birthday. Today's show, though, is 81 and having fun, so don't go away. At the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. At the Wheeler Opera House, all are welcome. You're welcome to be a part of history.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Want to live like a local? Help us reduce food waste, a major contributor to climate change.
You can help in 3 simple ways.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Buy ugly fruits and vegetables.
Reduce food waste.
Live like a local.
Red Brick Center for the Arts is Aspen's hub for creative activity, offering youth and adult art classes, gallery exhibitions, artist studios, and nonprofits. You can take a class, meet with artists, purchase art, and be a part of Aspen's art scene. More at redbrickaspen.com. Locally owned and operated and consistently voted #1 for après-ski, Highlands Ale House is the local ski bar, serving delicious drinks and comfort food, including pizza, burgers, salads, bowls, and more. Located at the base of Aspen Highlands. Brought to you by Paradise Bakery and Gelateria, serving Aspen for 42 years. White River Overland specializes in camper van upfitting, catering to mountain outdoor enthusiasts. WRO's builds are purpose-driven to enhance skiing, cycling, camping, climbing, and river adventures. WRO is nestled in the White River National Forest in Aspen.
Susie's Consignment in Aspen at 600 East Main. Same friendly faces, same great prices, and new items daily. See you at Susie's.
Welcome to the local show. People you work with, people you know.
We're back here on our season premiere of the local show, guys. We've got Nick Kuhn in the house. Last year, 81 and having fun. He skied 86 bowl laps, which means you got to hike the bowl and ski the bowl, survive the bowl, and then you actually share the bowl and your philosophy, which we're going to talk about a lot. But I wanted to just backtrack a little bit because this all started growing up in Switzerland. And can you tell us a little bit about the skiing culture and kind of the alpine culture that you grew up with in Switzerland?
Well, my dad skied, but there was no lift, okay? We didn't have money for lifts.
Okay.
So we would always take
I can relate.
We would always take the train, to Ebnot Kappel, It's about 10 miles away where he grew up.
Okay.
And it's a mountain. We would just ski up there.
Awesome.
On top, there was a nice hut run by the local ski club. And the ski club, there was always somebody would make hot soup,
Nice.
We would have maybe some cocoa, but the lunch we would bring. So it was kind of a warming hut, combination, but you could have also a beer up there. My dad would have a beer, and I would have some tea or some cocoa, you know.
Okay.
So that was our skiing, you know.
So you were using like seal skins at that point in time,
yeah,
correct?
at that time, you know, you had a backpack, you know, you have your ski wax in there, you had your lunch in there.
Right.
But what we always had in there, what you don't even think about these days, is we would have an aluminum tip in case we would break our wooden skis. So you had 2 screws you could screw on, so you could ski down with a broken ski.
Oh, so you have like a backup tip for your ski.
Yes.
In case it breaks.
Yeah.
So you can just do
In
the
the
repair.
old days, a lot of times, you know.
That's interesting.
You know, you would break a tip.
Right.
They were not that, you know, made not to break.
You really
know?
had to be self-sufficient there then,
Yeah.
even if your skis
So that's
would
how
break.
I grew up.
That's
but
incredible.
really, to learn to ski was really in the street. Where I grew up, we had no cars in the
Okay.
inner city.
Okay.
Everything is cobblestones. And we had, right where I grew up, 1 block away, we had a street going downhill. And no cars. So we would use our sleds, you know, and would sledding. And then the people who had skis, we would build a little jump and would be over the jump, you know, as kids, and then make that famous Christie, you know, on the bottom.
Right.
You know, but usually it was just to one side, you know. So, like I grew up, really turned to the right side. And all my life, I felt better to turn to the right side. So, you know, that's how you learn to ski. And you get, eventually you're going to have to learn to turn to the left too, you know.
So did your dad teach you most of the technique then?
No.
The skiing technique?
No
or did you learn that more in street,
no
street
technique.
skiing more?
There was absolutely no technique.
No technique.
His technique was,
Just goes,
okay, you have to watch me, okay? He would go straight down, okay, and whoever could make more dust,
Oh,
that was the hero.
that was the goal.
And then I would see somebody, you know, vrrr, you know, that was him.
And then you would progress pretty quickly into the culinary world when you were actually 14. How did that all start with your love of cooking, and then you would become
The
a chef?
number 1 hotel in my hometown was Hotel Swanen, you know, Swan.
Okay,
They had 1 son, and he was my best friend.
okay.
But he was on the lazy side. So he would never help, and my mother was helping out there. And
Okay.
they saw me to help my mother sometimes.
Okay.
So the waitresses asked me if I would be interested to come and help them over the lunch, to be like a busboy, you know.
Okay.
And that time we didn't have busboys, you know. It was all waitresses. They would give me 1 franc to help them out.
Okay.
And pretty soon they asked me if I would help them to sell pastry and sandwich from 2 to 5, because that's when the boat come from Zurich, and
Okay.
because my hometown was right on the lake. So they didn't have time really to do the serving the pastry and the sandwich. So they would do the drinks, you know, coffee, tea, whatever. And I would go from table to table to sell the pastry and
Okay.
the sandwich.
Okay.
And that's how I got really interested in the culinary field.
And then you made the jump. How did you make the jump to actually cooking?
Then when I was 15 years old, I started my apprenticeship. So the apprenticeship
Okay.
is really how it works is you go 2.5 years. Now
Okay.
they have different systems. But on that time, it was really 2.5 years. It's supposed to be 5 days work,
Okay.
the 6th day going to school, and the 7th day off.
Okay.
But that didn't always happen, you know.
Right.
When we were busy, there was no day off.
You work every day.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
just keep on working, you know.
So because we're so limited on time, Nick, I mean, and then how did you decide to move? I mean, you develop these culinary skills, through the apprenticeship. You start cooking and becoming a chef. How did you make the jump to the United States, and in particular to Chicago?
Well, that's a long story, you know. Actually, my last job was in 61-62 season
Okay.
in the number one hotel in the world. And that time was the Palace in St. Moritz, where we had 60 cooks.
Okay, wow.
So it's a small world. 2 of the 60 cooks landed in Aspen.
Oh, no kidding.
One was Kurt Wecker, who was the chef for the Red Onion for many years.
Okay.
And then he also was the owner of Buffalo Valley and the Sopras restaurant.
Okay, okay.
So it's a small world, you know. He came to, I don't know how he came to Aspen. I came to Aspen through Chicago. The guy was forced to hire me because he actually interviewed 60 cooks, but I had something nobody else had. I had a green card.
Right.
So he needed a sous chef. First he told me I was number 1. I was too young. I didn't have enough experience. I didn't speak the language. But that changed when he found out nobody had a green card except me.
Right.
So he was forced to hire me. I was 20 years old. I was the sous chef. 3 years later, somehow I was the chef.
And then how long were you a chef in Aspen?
So, no, I was in Chicago till then in 72. I became a member of the American national team, culinary team.
Right.
Then I made a gold medal in Frankfurt, Germany.
Wow.
And after that, I figured, you know, Hilton wanted me, Sheridan wanted me, Hyatt wanted me. Now it's time to make a change.
Okay.
And that's when I actually, one of the members who actually had a condo here, he offered me his condo a week.
Okay.
So that's Buddy Green. You may maybe remember, he was the guy who sponsored, he owned Dearborn Wire and Cable in Chicago. And he sponsored the hot dog contest in Highlands for many years.
Sure.
His son is still here, Tony Green. He's a ski instructor.
Yeah, I know Tony.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
You know, it's a small world. You know, so when I got back, I said, "Buddy, that was the biggest mistake you made." He said, "You didn't like Aspen?" I said, "Yeah, but you're gonna lose your chef." That was the end. He could not understand. He said, "There is nothing for you in Aspen." I said, "Yeah, I know what I want to do."
There you go.
And at that time, I only knew one person here. There was Klaus Christ. He owned the Golden Horn. He was my sous chef in Chicago, and I knew him from Davos.
Okay.
My first job. So I asked him about the restaurants in Aspen on the mountain. And he said, "Well, they all belong to the ski company." I said, "Who is in charge?" He said, "Darcy Brown. But I don't think you want to talk to him, you know." Darcy Brown was very good to me. He believed in me, and he gave me a chance. So he offered me the Cliff House, and we had the Cliff House for 17 years.
Wow, that's incredible.
So I have to give credit to my wife, who was the hardest working person. I was very lucky to have a wife who was very positive all the time, helped me out, you know, when I was on the Olympic team, when I was chef in Chicago, you know.
Wow.
She brought up 2 wonderful sons, and I'm very lucky I have both the sons in the valley, you know, so.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
So I'm very lucky guy.
And
I
then
had the best wife, you know, and I
Yeah.
think my 2 sons had the best mother.
That's such a huge blessing. And you lost your wife in recent years, correct?
I actually lost my wife in March, 12th of March.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
Thank you.
But what a blessing to have a life partner like that.
Yeah,
for
she
so many
was
years.
always there to really support me because she knew exactly if I don't let my husband do what he wants, she told a friend that if she doesn't let her husband ski every day, he's a crouch.
Right.
So maybe she was right, you know.
Important to recognize
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So-
What makes each one of you happy, right? You knew what made her happy. She
Yeah,
knew what made you happy. So how many years ago did you start to fall in love with the Highland Bowl? Was that pretty much right when it opened up, or
no, it was
even
kind
prior?
of the first time I hiked the bowl. Was very interesting, you know. There was only, I think, on that time there were only one run open, and that was Whips. Okay,
Right.
so we started to. I was with my son Andre, and we hiked, and we saw about 3-4 people on the front of us. And I said, Andre, you know what? I never been up here. I'm really kind of nervous, you know,
Sure.
to ski the Highlands Bowl. Let's just slow down. When we get on top, we're going to have a snack, you know, and kind of look where we want to ski down.
Sure, take your time.
Well, we got up there, and I'm looking down. I thought, God, this is really steep, you know. I'm looking, there was a lady doing cartwheels, gloves, you know.
Yeah, yard sale. we call it.
Really a yard sale. And I was standing up there, and now I can tell you, my knees were going like this.
Okay.
And I thought, what the heck did I really got myself into it, you know? And so we had a snack up there, and I said, Andre, we're going to let these people go, you know. Don't slow down, okay? And then I think what you have to go first. I'm going to come off. The most important thing going to be the first turn.
Right.
If you make the first turn, just keep on going. Don't worry about your dad. You know, it's steep enough I can roll down, okay? So he went all the way pretty much to the run out.
Okay.
And then I came, and it was just beautiful. I mean, it was like heli skiing, you know.
Exactly.
And I figured, okay, this is the best skiing I've ever did, you know.
Right. Right.
That's what the Europeans really don't understand when they come the first time to Aspen, you know, and ski the Highlands Bowl, and I have to explain them. It's totally different than Europe, okay?
Right.
The water in the snow is much less than it's in Europe, you know.
Sure.
So when the sun is shining, it's not melting the snow.
Right.
So we don't get a crust, you know. I mean, you go and here, if it doesn't snow for 2 weeks, you still can go in the trees and you find powder.
Yes.
No, not in Europe, you know, because when it gets warm, you know, it melts and then it freezes and then you have a crust, you know.
Right.
So it's totally different, you know.
Let's focus, because we're just down to a couple minutes, but let's focus on last season, because you had this big birthday coming up. Had you decided at the beginning of the season you were going to set about doing a certain number of bowl laps, or it just kind of developed during the season?
I was working, you know. I'm still teaching, you know. So, but I only ski with one family. So I figured, well, and then I try to go heli skiing, you know. And I'm just enjoying to hike the bowl. And my wife said, you cannot hike the bowl more than twice a day. And I figured, oh, okay, you know. So usually I get one hike in before the snowcat starts, you know. And then I hike one more time and ski the deep temerity and whatever, you know. But it was really not, I didn't want to go really, I have to do that, you know. It just happened, you know.
Just kind of happened and lined up that way.
Then when I got close to the 80, I said, yeah, I should really do 80, you know. Hey, let's go for it, you know.
What would be a couple tips, and it's just so inspirational that you're doing that, you know, at that level of athleticism.
Well, it's the healthiest thing.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't get in trouble.
We're down to just a minute, Nick, but what would be a couple tips, with all your experience back in Highland Bowl, for someone who's just beginning? Maybe they want to do their first hike this winter. What would be a couple tips?
Pacing. There's nothing. You see the kids going really fast.
Exactly.
And then they're laying there on Hardtack Hill and they're out of breath, And you have to tell, just go your pace.
Yes.
You don't go nobody else's pace except your pace.
Right.
And don't think you have to run up there, Sure, we have so many good athletes, They look on the watch, They want to break their time, But I'm over that. So for me, I'm very happy when I'm on top.
We got to wrap the show, buddy. But I baked you some cookies because I knew that was probably the main reason you came. Did you have fun in the show, Nick?
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to have you back because I want to delve a little deeper, no pun intended, but into the Highland Bowl. So did you have fun?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for putting up with my girl, Sammy. Yeah. She actually calmed down pretty well.
Yeah.
So organic chocolate chunk, my friend. And I put some extra chunks in there.
Can I offer one to my son?
We're going to offer them to our live studio audience, but I want to say thank you guys for joining us for a season premiere of The Local Show.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, good job, man. At the Wheeler Opera House, we set the stage for connections that create memories for our audiences, artists, and greater Aspen community. At the Wheeler Opera House, all are welcome. You're welcome to be a part of history.
I'm so passionate about this community. I absolutely love living here and raising my family here. It gives me a lot of pride to share this with my friends and my clients and help them achieve their dreams of owning an Aspen snowmass and enjoying this incredible lifestyle.
Join the string beans in helping reduce food waste in our community.
Plan menus carefully and only buy what you need.
Collect unused scraps for compost.
Ask for smaller portions in restaurants.
Take home leftovers to eat later.
Donate unopened food to our food bank.
Let's work in concert to reduce food waste.
Sundog Athletics, Aspen's adventure sports school and snowshoeing specialists since 1996.
Welcome to the